We understand that recent rate rises from the RBA have caused some concern amongst borrowers. Ryan Pappas here from Mortgage Choice, and today we're going to talk about how you can reduce the impact of these rate rises in this environment. The RBA has stated that these increases are necessary to curb inflation, which is about 7% currently, way above the 2 to 3% target that the bank wants. While some argue that these increases are pretty risky, you've got to remember one key job of the RBA is to curb inflation and to manage inflation in Australia. Now you're probably asking yourself or telling yourself that, Ryan, we all know this, inflation, it's everywhere in the media now. So how can I get around it? How can I beat it? How can I beat these rate rises? What are some strategies you recommend in getting ahead or beating these rate rises? Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into it, and I'm going to share some tips on how you can beat these rate rises. Tip number 1, review your budget. Now, if you don't have a budget, ladies and gentlemen, I'd recommend you do one, especially in this environment. Review your expenses, review your income, and see where you can curb or cut back on some unnecessary expenses. By no means do you have to do that, but have them in the back of your mind as firepower. If rates keep rising, you know what you can cut back on. Tip number 2, negotiate with your lender. Many of you are coming off fixed rates that are around the 2% mark, even lower. These could revert to rates in the 6 to 7% range, maybe even 8% in some cases I've seen. Lenders are happy to negotiate in this space. Variable rates currently, as of recording this video in May 2023, around the 5.5% mark for variable rate home loans. Now, if it's daunting negotiating with your existing lender or you just simply can't be bothered, that's what we do. Reach out to us. We're more than happy to negotiate with your existing lender. Tip number 3, refinance to a lower rate. This goes in hand with tip number 2. If you've already spoken to your existing lender or we've spoken to your existing lender on your behalf, there may be other options out there. That's what we do. Again, reach out to us and we can share some other options with you. Tip number 4, make extra repayments if you can. Making extra repayments is a great way to save interest in the long run. Many of you are utilizing offsets and redraw facilities, which is achieving a very similar thing at the end of the day, and making extra repayments will save you interest in the long run. Tip number 5, extend the loan term. By spreading the cost of the loan over a longer period, you're going to be decreasing your monthly repayment. However, this also means paying more interest over the loan's lifespan. On the other hand, this might be a good idea because it enables you to build your offset and redraw facilities. Tip number 6, get home loan features like a redraw or an offset facility. Now, if you don't know what a redraw or an offset facility is, there's a video coming up on the screen which will explain the differences. An offset account or a redraw facility are very similar things at the end of the day, but they can help you save money. You can place money in these transaction accounts or directly into the loan account itself, and it achieves a very similar thing at the end of the day of making extra repayments. It's going to save you interest in the long term. Tip number 7, fix your home loan. Now, if you're really scared about the future and don't know if you can sustain another couple of interest rate rises, it might be a good idea to explore a fixed rate option. Now, a fixed rate generally locks in the rate for you for 2, 3, or anywhere between 1 to 5 years. And essentially you will pay the same rate for the next 1 to 5 years. This might be a good idea for some if your budgets are very tight. Look, at the end of the day, it's important that you weigh up the pros and cons to each of these tips. This is what we're here for. Reach out to us. We can give you general advice, or if we know you, we can give you individual advice on your circumstances or point you in the direction of a financial planner, an accountant, or whatever you need. We're here to help. I want to stress that very importantly. In times like these, we want to hear from you. We want to hear your stresses. We want to hear what you're doing to get ahead in this environment. It's been a pleasure speaking with you all. Ryan Pappas here from Mortgage Choice. I look forward to talking to you soon.